Hello everyone, welcome to this session of geography. Today we have a very important topic to discuss, and that is heat waves. We have seen that how northwestern USA and western Canada is reeling under heat dome and heat waves. But it is not only related to Canada or US. It's a worldwide event that occurs maybe in the transitioning phase, maybe for a temporary time, but it happens. And in India, it is very notorious to bring about a lot of disturbances in day-to-day life. The routine gets totally disbalanced, and yes, there are fatalities that happen. But let's see about what Indian Meteorological Department has to say about heat waves. Heat waves, they say that it's a condition when the temperature from the normal temperatures would be surpassed. That means the abnormal temperatures, when they are created over an area for some number of days, then the condition would be defined as the heat wave condition. And they say that here, if you were to see that qualitatively, heat wave is a condition of air temperature which becomes fatal to human body when exposed. And quantitatively, it is defined based on the temperature thresholds over a region in terms of actual temperature or its departure from normal. So that means if the normal temperature of a place is around 30 degree, there would be a range. If in this range the temperature would be increasing, and beyond that if it goes, then IMD would say that it is a heat wave condition. So IMD would try to define. Now let's see what are those. So now this says that what is the criterion for declaring the heat wave? Now this it's a very important prelims question that can come. It says that heat wave is considered if the maximum temperature of a station reaches at least 40 degrees Celsius or more. For the plain areas, so for the plains, the temperature threshold is 40 degrees Celsius or more, and at least 30 degrees Celsius or more for the hilly regions. So if you just have a distinction between the two, the hilly areas will normally have less of temperatures because of their altitude, while the plain areas would have the insolation falling upon them, and they would have this range of around 40 degrees Celsius or more. If it is there, then the heat wave condition it is there. It is 30 degrees Celsius or more for the hilly regions. Also, based on departure from the normal. Now this is very important. The heat wave it is if the normal temperature would have been, and departure from the normal is 4.5 to 6.4 degrees Celsius, that means it is the heat wave condition. And if it is more than 6.4 degrees Celsius, it's a severe heat wave condition. Also, based on actual maximum temperature, if the heat wave is to be announced when the actual maximum temperature is more than 45 degrees Celsius, irrespective of the transition, it will be said it's a heat wave condition. And severe heat wave would come when the actual maximum temperature is equal to or more than 47 degrees Celsius. So regardless of any departures, if the actual maximum temperature is 45 degrees Celsius, it is a heat wave condition. And which is surpassing even that, it is either 47 degrees Celsius or even more, then it is a severe heat wave condition. It says that if the above criteria is met at least in 2 stations in the meteorological subdivisions for at least 2 days, 2 consecutive days, and it is declared on the second day that yes, the heat wave condition is now declared and it is prevailing. What is the criterion for describing heat wave for coastal stations? Now very important. For the coastal station, it says that when maximum temperature departure is 4.5 degrees Celsius or more from normal, heat wave may be described provided actual maximum temperature is 37 degrees Celsius or more. So be very clear, for the coastal areas we have a different parameter, for the plain areas a different, and for the hilly regions a different pattern is there, parameter is there. What is warm night? It is considered only when maximum temperature remains 40 degrees Celsius or more. It is considered only when maximum temperature remains 40 degrees Celsius or more. See the word only here. Only when the maximum temperature remains 40 degrees Celsius or more. It is defined based on departures or actual minimum temperatures as follows. Warm night means minimum temperature departure is 4.5 degrees Celsius to 6.4 degrees Celsius, and very warm night means the minimum departure is of the range of more than 6.4 degree Celsius, and then it is a warm night. What is the period of heat wave over India? Very important. Generally, the heat wave condition develops, or the onset of this heat wave condition would be in the month of March, and it goes up to June. But prevailing, due to there are so many changes that are going on, and we cannot really predict what happens when, it could even be going up to your July. So March to June, it's normal consider that there could be heat wave conditions, but in some areas it is even up to July. It is even up to July. What are the heat wave prone states over India? You can see here that it is the northwest India, central, east and north peninsular India. It covers Punjab, Haryana, Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Odisha, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Gujarat, parts of Maharashtra and Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Sometimes it occurs over Tamil Nadu and Kerala also. Heat waves adversely affect human and animal lives. However, maximum temperature more than 45 degrees Celsius observed mainly over Rajasthan and Vidarbha region in the month of May. Now, not getting into all these details, we don't have to learn it by heart, but we can understand. The northwestern part of the country, the western part of the country, and the central peninsular part of the country can come under the conditions of severe heat waves or heat waves because of certain atmospheric events that might take place. We'll talk about that, but let's see what this document has to say more. It talks about that how Indian Meteorological Department monitors the heat waves. Now, Indian Meteorological Department would be seeing or would be assessing or observing the humidity, the temperature and the pressure. Based upon all these parameters, it will then try to find out what is the or how can we predict that it's a heat wave condition. So it monitors the heat wave conditions based upon temperature, relative humidity, pressure, wind speed and direction. What is the temporal range of temperature forecast issued by IMD? So IMD issues temperature forecast and warning in the following ranges: short to medium range, extended range and seasonal range. And anyhow you can see that we are trying to forecast even up to 3 months. We are trying to forecast for extended range of 4 weeks, and we can have a good precision on 1 to 5 days. Now this is the part where it's really very challenging. For 3 months you're trying to give some forecast of 3 months in such atmospheric event, or maybe the atmospheric scope where anything could happen. The monsoons might be delayed, the monsoons might not come, and there are so many reasons behind it. What is the spatial range of temperature forecast issued by IMD? So it is, I think nothing important for the exam is here. Let's see how IMD predicts the heat waves. Now talking about the heat wave conditions as they prevail. These are the abnormal departures that happen from the normal temperature range of that area. There are certain factors attributed to this. For example, there is a notion of making. So what happens is, if this area becomes that of high pressure, if this area is of high pressure, it will try to send down the winds from here. These winds, while they descend, due to contraction, they will be more heating up, or more heating up of the air is there. This more heating of the air, in addition to the insolation that is already happening, so whatever air parcel which is to be there, it would be getting heated up to a much more range. And this is the area, or this is the region where you would have more of the temperatures or departure of the temperatures with more degrees. And then we say that this heat wave condition might have established. Humidity, you can understand, in such areas would be less. The air movement would be less. The horizontal air movement is less, because this area which is developed here, high pressure, it will try to pull down the wind it will try to send down the wind, and hence we have high temperature here. These are the heat wave conditions that could prevail. Also, there are certain times when suppose the southwest monsoon winds are coming, but they do not bring with them the moisture. Or suppose if they are coming from an area where it is already dry, then such winds, for example, if I talk about the northwestern part, or suppose, please see here, if this is suppose your northwestern part and the western part of the country, the winds that might be coming from this area, if they have picked up the moisture and if they have shed it here itself, if here itself they have shed it, that means here there will be rainfall. But as they proceed towards this area, they are already dry. This dry made up by the insolation here will make the temperature of this area even more. So this is a problem that we might face in the northwestern part of the country, Punjab, Haryana, Chandigarh, Rajasthan, topmost or northern part of Rajasthan. These are under this process of that they might get not the winds that have some clouds or moisture, but they get the dry winds, and hence the temperatures remain more. This would be all about the heat wave condition as they prevail. Do remember what IMD has to say, and there could be a question in the prelims examination. Thank you so much.